What is going on, everyone? It's Ultimate Spy 53 here, and I have my mom here with me, and we just got back from Mary Poppins Returns, and so I thought we'd do a non-spoiler review of the movie and just talk about what we thought of it. What did you think?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved every minute of it. If you were a childhood fan of this movie, if you're my age and this was a movie that you watched as a child, this is the kind of rendition of this movie where it could travel back in time and a 1964 audience could see it and love it. Except that I'm sure a 1964 audience might be frustrated because so much of it is like Mary Poppins that they might feel like they were seeing the same movie, and it's not the same movie. It's a different story altogether.
Sequel. And the interesting thing about that was that it's the first sequel that has that much of a time gap in terms of like making the other one. It's like that one came out in 1964. I looked it up. This one came out this year. That's the longest gap in any sequel ever in history.
Do you think that had to do with the rights or something?
I don't know. I mean,
there just wasn't. I mean, the 1960s.
I guess they just never had a story or never knew if they were going to make a sequel.
Yeah, nobody made sequels to movies in the 1960s.
Not really, no.
I don't know when that. I don't even know when that really started.
I think they really started to happen in the late 70s, early 80s, where the sequels started to kind of skyrocket. Like the idea.
Well, I mean, the Star Wars franchise.
Yeah.
Was sequels.
So this movie was special because we brought back some of the joy from the first movie, because I remember seeing it, but it's been such a long time. Otherwise, a lot of the stuff kind of escapes me. Yeah. But I remember the songs, and when I first saw the trailer and I heard that flying a kite song, I'm like, ooh. Yeah. What are we gonna do this time?
But you remember the original movie, right?
Yeah. It's just so long that I've seen it. So like when I saw the trailer, I'm like, this could be really good, actually.
Right. It was beautiful. And,
it was amazing.
This was a movie when I was a child that I'm actually too young to have seen it in the theater. I was a baby when it came out, so if I saw it in the theater, I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I had the record album, the vinyl record album for this movie. And when my mother would put me down for a nap or to go to sleep at night, she would play one of my record albums, and that was one of my very favorites. So I knew all the songs, and back in the 60s and 70s, they would put popular movies on television.
Oh yeah.
At special times during the year, and you would have your TV guide, and you would, the Mary Poppins is going to be on tonight, and we'd all come to the television at 7 o'clock, and so we could see it. The other thing was they had, I don't know if it started in the 60s or 70s, there was a television show called The Wonderful World of Disney, and it was just Disney movies. It was like every Friday night or something, they would play a Disney movie, and everybody would tune in because they could see whatever this classic Disney movie was. Yeah. So, and I remember seeing things like Escape to Witch Mountain, which at the time I thought was such a terrific movie. I loved Escape to Witch Mountain as a child, and I saw it again as an adult, and it was. Did you see it?
Well,
this 1970s version of Escape to Witch Mountain.
The remake, but not the original.
It's bad. It's really bad. But I just remember. But this one,
one was just wonderful. I know you missed the first song, but
tell me about that first song.
So the first song, it's kind of like from the trailer where Jack, portrayed by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who was an amazing actor, by the way, he wrote and performed in the show Hamilton on the Broadway version, not on the one that you saw. But he's an amazing actor. And,
that would have been cool.
The one song he has in the very beginning of the movie is basically it's the one like when he's riding on his bike, he just doing his. It's basically the ending song repeated. I guess repeated. Not. I think it might be a different kind of thing like that. But
they do what's called a reprise at the end of a movie.
So basically, him kind of like cycling around London and just singing.
This Mary Poppins Returns does not. It didn't give anything to modern music. It really is very much the music. Is very much like the original Mary Poppins. And that's not that there's anything wrong with modern music.
A lot of the scenes were mirrored. Some of the characters, like Jack, played by Lin-Manuel Miranda, he mirrors Bert.
Yes.
He's not the exact same character. But
he's not Bert.
He mirrors. They kind of the same idea.
Well, and the deceit is that he was a child and Bert was kind of his mentor, and that he used to wave to Jane from the window.
It just, I like the fact that it mirrored a lot of the stuff from the original stuff we saw.
Oh yeah, scene for scene.
Scene for scene. A lot of the stuff in the movie. I mean, I'm not going to go into spoilers because it just came out, but just seeing everything come together like that.
Well, just a few hints though. So, I mean, like there's a moment where the fog rolls in, and I turned to Tom and I said, "Time for the chimney sweeps."
Yeah.
And of course, there's a wonderful show-stopping number in the middle with the Lamplighters.
Yeah,
the
very
Learys.
reminiscent of the
Learys.
original.
It's very
song.
much, yeah. It harkens back to that wonderful chimney sweep song with the big dance number.
Yeah.
This one has. They made good use of bicycles.
Oh yeah, that was amazing.
They made amazing use of bicycles
so cool.
and parkour, and yet there wasn't a sense of, oh, this is some brand new thing. It was just I got really weepy during this movie, and there were some tender scenes because the idea is that Michael has grown up and that he's been widowed. He's lost his wife, and then he's got these old children. But you have grown-up Michael and grown-up Jane, and when Mary Poppins shows up, it's just perfect. It couldn't be more perfect.
I think the casting was just perfect for that because I was.
She was great. That's
Emily Andrews would cameo as a character, kind of like how
Dick
Van Dyke did, but like Emily Blunt was just the perfect choice of playing Mary Poppins because she has the accent, she has the look, she has the physique, everything about her just feels like Mary Poppins.
She obviously just studied every gesture of Julie Andrews' Mary Poppins because she so pulled it off. And, you know, for me, this was just like a trip back to childhood.
The amazing part about this movie was the songs. I mean, not to give too much away, but if you've seen the original movie and you know some of the songs, and if you know all the songs, then you know that's amazing. The actors have amazing singing voices, especially Emily
Of course,
Blunt.
yeah.
They have amazing voices. Even the kids got to be in the film with the singing. That was amazing. I really enjoyed that. And for those of you who don't know, Dick Van Dyke, who played the original Bert in the original movie, he makes a cameo appearance. I'm not gonna give the character away, but he does make a cameo appearance towards the end of the movie.
That moment, that Dick
Van
Dyke moment,
I
wanted to stand
up and cheer. When I saw him in the movie, I was like, yes, because I heard about it.
Just like Mary Poppins' arrival in this, the entrance of Dick Van Dyke is perfect, and the timing is perfect, and it's so. There were lots of hat tips. I thought there was even an E.T. hat tip.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. There's kind of a moment that's like an E.T. moment.
You'll see that in the movie.
Yep, and I was like, oh yeah, there we go. We've got our E.T. moment going on.
I thought the casting in general, who the cast were brilliant, like Colin Firth as the banker. He was amazing in that. You got a whole like parallel thing going on with the bank. Yeah. Which happened in the original movie. Yeah, you have Emily Mortimer, Ben Winshaw, Julie Walter. Julie Walters. That would have been great to have the same first name. Julie Walters, Colin Firth, that I mentioned before, and we also have Angela Lansbury. If you don't know, I'm not going to give her role away, but
another cameo.
She is in the movie too. She's
so
another well-known actor. So
and to hear her sing again, because I remember she really
is. If you don't know who she is, she voiced Mrs. Potts in my favorite.
Well, and before that, she was in the long-standing television series Murder, She Wrote, and everyone
She's
loved
been
her.
in a lot of stuff.
But I mean, the thing with like Beauty and the Beast, she had not sung for a very long time, and when they asked her to do Mrs. Potts singing, she strenuously objected, and they somehow persuaded her to sing, and then it became this lovely, tale as old as time thing with her kind of beautiful, husky Mrs. Potts older lady kind of voice, which I don't know that was like Angela Lansbury's voice. I mean, her voice in this one isn't exactly, it's not Mrs. Potts really, but she sings in this one, and I thought, it's kind of like it opened the door back in Beauty and the Beast. I'm not sure what else she's done where she's sung.
But it's just
such a comforting voice.
The songs are amazing. I definitely feel like a lot of what we see in the movie mirrors a lot of what you see in the original. Especially the trailer when we see the kite for the first time. It's like, first sequel in 50, 60 years. Something like that. It's been a long time since the first game came out.
They did different things. In the soundtrack, you do hear some themes from some of the old songs. Yeah. I'm trying to think. There's a poignant scene where there's a little bit of original movie song. Just some little hints of songs from the movie that, if I remember it, I'll say it. But it was something with Mr. Banks. There's a poignant song that he has in the original where he's always lost.
The hand-drawn animation is back, which was very happy to see.
Well,
that.
This was a cutting edge thing. I think the original Mary Poppins was the first. Now, I could be wrong about this. It was Song of the South, but the original Mary Poppins was one of the early movies that mixed hand-drawn animation with people and put them onto the same screen so that the people were interacting with the animated.
There's quite enough footage of all the animated characters in the movie.
Well, that was so lovely, and because that was, of course, the echo of the jumping into the chalk pavement picture.
Yeah.
And the carousel horses, and they have another thing that they do that it's like being back there, but a whole different storyline. I loved seeing that
like
animation.
A new version of the way they did it before, which I think is amazing.
Well, and I guess the first scene that Mary Poppins has with the children, with the first sort of fantasy scene, where the magical things begin to happen.
Of the original.
Yeah, Now, when I was reading this review in the paper, that was CGI, obviously. Yeah. Not just from me reading the review in the paper. I could have known that from watching it. But I guess I'm so used to CGI now that it's kind of like... But yeah, so that part was CGI, but it was well done. And
I did look it up. Apparently, it was all hand-drawn. It's amazing.
Good.
They actually did it. They hand drew it, and then they put it into a computer. That's how they did it, obviously. But it's just amazing when you see it. And you guys are gonna love it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, if you love the original movie, I think Mary Poppins is my favorite Disney movie. Mm-hmm. So I just loved. There were so many things that they did with that movie that kind of the theme with the suffragists and Mrs. Banks being a suffragist.
Yeah.
And in a way, in the original movie, they kind of made fun of her. She was sort of ditzy. She was like this women's rights advocate, and then she'd go, "Oh, George, dear," You kind of be like, "Okay, please," So, but that was 1964, kind of early feminism, and
yeah, definitely.
So I thought it was.
I thought it was wonderful. Honestly.
Kind of bold in the original one.
They had such a great cast, though. People like Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep is in this movie! Oh my gosh! We get into this one scene, I'm like watching this character, and you kind of see her from the distance at first, and then we get up close, and I'm like, that's Meryl Streep!
If you see the trailer, they're all the actors' names of the big actors. And
see, now, I didn't even know. I didn't know who was going to be in it. I just went because...
You didn't see the trailer, did you?
No, I didn't see the trailer.
Oh, well.
No,
the trailer,
it was all
there
just
is all the cast names, and it's one of them is Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
One of the most famous and also one of the best actresses in Hollywood. She's amazing.
Meryl Streep, oh gosh.
She's a great actress.
She's really delightful in this role, and I thought...
All the roles that she plays in numerous films, they're just amazing.
Well, Meryl Streep has played a lot of dramatic roles.
Yeah,
so this was just this delightful comic role where she got to kind of sing and dance, and I thought how much fun that must be for her.
Oh yeah, definitely. I felt like a lot of the singing and dancing in this movie really made you think of the original, because the original had a lot of...
Well, that's the point. That was the point.
That was why I like it so much.
I mean, I think it was for people like me, and
because especially for those of you who remember the original, it's like, I hope they'll bring it back, and it's like, yeah, they did.
Yeah, they really...
Whatever song you think they're gonna do, they at least, try to mimic that.
Well,
anyways.
Mimic. I don't know if I would say mimic, because it's not, I mean, each song...
It's not the same thing, but you can definitely tell it's like, they try to like, incorporate
stylistically
kind of style of that, yeah.
Stylistically, it is like being in the old movie, and in with the songs, they are stylistically connected to the original songs, and I just thought there's even almost like a Stay Awake song. Do you remember the old movie? And it's not a Stay Awake song. It's in this case, it's the children wake from a nightmare, and she sings to them this beautiful kind of mellow song.
I think the best thing about this, in terms of the musical stuff, is that each character gets to sing. I don't remember that being part of the first movie.
What do you mean, each character?
Each character in the movie, each major character gets to sing.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I don't remember that being part, because I haven't seen the original movie in such a long time.
I think Jana Michael sang in the original one, and Mr. Banks sang. I think they did. I think they all did.
I don't remember if that actually.
No, I think they all got to sing.
If you remember that, then sure, that's great. That's fantastic. In the original movie, because it was during the '60s, it's just everything's so classic. But now it feels like a little the colors are brighter, I think. It's a little more vibrant.
The technology is different, so we have the ability to do different things with colors than maybe they could have at that time. But even with that, I think it was like they didn't go crazy with trying to make it 21st century, and that was the thing that sold the movie to me, was that it had that.
I think we also forgot to mention the beginning of the movie paid off the original, because they if you see the original movie, they had the matte paintings with the credits. They have that here too.
Yeah, I love that.
And I was like,
yeah, you had opening credits, and the fonts were even the same.
Remember the original, and you want to know if anything's the same. A lot is the same, but it's still a very different film. But
it's got its own story. But it's like I get my Mary Poppins back, and I love that.
I was very happy to see it. And it was a wonderful movie. If you love musicals, this is the one for you, because it's amazing. So anyway, I think that's going to do it for this review. Thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure. I wasn't this thing. We've done one in a while, haven't we?
No, we should do this more often.
Disney, well, they haven't had a lot of good ones according to the critics this year, but I think these last two, Nutcracker and Mary Poppins Returns, I think they made up for it with the ones they've come out later this year.
Yeah.
Which has been fantastic.
Thank you for inviting me to the movie.
As always. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button. I really encourage support. And if you're new to this channel, subscribe for more reviews like this and other great content. Also make sure to click that bell to enable alerts to don't miss any uploads. And I'll be back next time with another video. Alright? See ya.